Hello everyone. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Rachel. I'm one of the owners and craft educators here at Oak and Lamb. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to create a really easy card for Cricut beginners. This is going to be a fantastic starter project if you have never used your Cricut and you want to dive in with something that's not very difficult. This is going to be an adorable beginner card that's going to look like an ice cream cone. We're using a couple of sheets of paper, a little bit of dry adhesive, and that's about it. We're going to keep this super easy mode for all of you guys out there who might have just purchased your Cricut. If you have, I would love to encourage you guys to check out Oak and Lamb. You can click the very first link below to join our flock and see what you're missing by not being a member with us here. We teach and train on a wide variety of different craft elements like Cricut, Glowforge, sewing, woodworking, and more. We really want to make you guys into the crafters you want to be, so check us out and allow us to help you out on your journey. Before we head on into Design Space, I want to go through and share with you guys all the supplies we're using today. Again, there's not that many of them, so let's go ahead and get started. First, we have our Cricut. Over here to the side, we're using a Cricut Maker 3 today, but you can use any Cricut that you want. They will all work with paper. We have a well-loved mat here. Now, this is not a Cricut brand mat. This is a paper studio mat. We also love the brand Zakoto from Amazon. Those are really good. The only reason we don't love Cricut mats is because they're pretty expensive. So we like to go for other brands of mats. This mat is actually a strong grip mat, but it has been very well loved, which means we've used it a lot on so many different projects and it's lost some of its stick. So this is a good standard grip mat as is right now without us cleaning it or anything like that. So this is the mat we're going to be using today. For paper, you do want to be careful about the mat being too sticky, because if you have a mat that is just too sticky, your material will shred on your paper, or excuse me, on your mat, and we don't want that. So make sure you have a good mat that has a good amount of stickiness, not too sticky, because again, if it is too sticky, you're going to have problems with your paper, especially if your paper is a lighter poundage. So do be wary about that. So this is the one we're using today. And next we have all of our paper. This is all the paper we're going to be using today. We have a sheet of pretty heavy cardstock. This is just 8.5 by 11, but you can use any kind of cardstock. This is just going to be the insert for our card. We're going to just have a little panel on the inside for us to write on. So that's what that is. We have a piece of glitter paper studio cardstock. I have the pack right here that I'll share with you. Here it is, the Paper Studio. This is the Glam Glitter Bold Solids. So this is super, super cute. We love all these colors. I mean, look at these. Love these. And they're very, very thin. They cut really well with your Cricut. So we're going to be using this for the accent on our cone, and then we have a piece of brown cardstock. For our cone, we didn't have a lighter brown or like a creamy brown like you mostly see in cones, so we are probably just going to do these two colors together and have it really pop. And again, you'll see what I'm talking about when we get into Design Space, share with you guys the file. So those are the browns we're using. This is the card base color we're using. It's just like a cream color. And then these are the colors of our 3 scoops of ice cream. Of course, use any colors you want, anything that you want to do. You can do all 3 the same color, however you want to do this. But this is just going to be a super simple card today. So we're using 3 different colors of scoops. We have just a couple of tools here. We have a scoring stylus. If you have a Cricut Maker 3 or a Cricut Maker and you're using this, you can also use your scoring wheel, but we prefer to use the stylus whenever possible. The reason for that is we don't love the fact that you have to change your blade out, change the blade in your housing when you use the scoring wheel, because they both have to be in clamp B. So you have to put your scoring wheel in and then take your scoring wheel out and put your fine point blade in. With this goes in clamp A. So we love to put this in clamp A, leave our fine point blade in clamp B, and it just scores and cuts all in one fell swoop. So we do love that. For adhesive, we're going to be using a Scotch ATG Gun. This is a dry adhesive tape gun. It's incredible. If you guys are interested in paper crafting, if you do paper craft often, this is an absolute game changer. You will adore your ATG gun. It's amazing. And then we also have a ZIG Glue Pen. Now this is a wet adhesive, but it's just a little bit. So this is gonna be great for little pieces we have to attach, like the accent on our cone. So do think about that when you're using things like this. So we do love this pen. And then next, last but not least, we have a pair of reverse tweezers. Again, these are going to be very helpful when placing little pieces that might be a little bit more difficult to place with your hands and things like that. So these are all the tools that we're going to be using. Pretty minimal today. So now that we've went through all of these, we're going to head over into Design Space and I'll share with you guys the cut file we're using. We're going to do just a little bit of manipulation. So definitely re-watch the tutorial in Design Space if you feel a little bit overwhelmed after watching it once or twice. It can take a while to get the hang of this. So give yourself some grace, take your time when learning, practice makes perfect. So we're going to head on over there and share with you guys the cut file. Here we are over in Design Space and our cut file is absolutely adorable. You can see all of the layers here on the layers panel and we'll be able to cut all of these out. However, I just want to let you guys know, if you love this cut file, if you want it, if you need it, definitely click that link below and join the flock. There is so much goodness over there. We have so many cut files for you guys, including this one that you guys can get in that membership exclusively, and it's a very fun place to be. Now, we do have some videos for Design Space Beginners, so definitely check those videos out. We'll sprinkle them in this video up above on the screen, so you guys can definitely refer to those if you're a beginner in Design Space. This is gonna be a super easy tutorial though. So over on the right-hand side of the screen, we have all these layers, but then this one here seems like it's just a line. If I click on it, you can see right here, it's just a line. What that is a line that needs to be a score line here in Design Space. Whenever people are creating cut files, you unfortunately cannot create the cut files with score lines already on them. You have to make those lines score lines. So right now, this is a cut line. You can see right here, it says basic cut. And then if we go up here, you can see orientation, basic cut. So what we're gonna do is click that down arrow and we're gonna change this from a cut line to a score line. And now that we've changed that score line from a basic cut to a score line, you're gonna want to attach this score line to the card base. That's gonna allow the Cricut to know that these are attached together and they're gonna be scored and then cut properly. Now, the first thing we need to do is actually ungroup this cut file. This cut file is grouped together. It'll all move together on the canvas here. And we're gonna go up here and click ungroup. And this is gonna allow us to be able to only attach certain layers that we want. So now we're gonna go down here back again to this score line and we're gonna attach this to our ice cream. Now we want to select both of these, but if you can see, I would keep clicking on one and the other. We wanna select them both. So the trick to do that is to click on one of your layers, hold the shift key down on your keyboard, click the other layer that you want to attach this to. So now we have our card base and our score line. They are together, they're selected together. You can see by them being a different color over here. Now you can go down and click attach. And now this just popped up to the front and that's fine. We can go up here to arrange and click move to the back, just like that. Now our card is ready to go. It's sized properly. We have a card insert, all of our little ice cream cone colors. We have our little grate here, and then we have our ice cream cone. So now we can go ahead and click make it. And as you can see, it's gonna cut all of our mats out beautifully. We can go ahead and click continue. And for all of these, we can leave this setting on the same setting. We're gonna leave it on heavy cardstock. So I'm gonna browse all materials here, type in heavy. You can see heavy cardstock right here. We're gonna click done. And now we're gonna go ahead and load all of our materials into our machine and get all of these cut out. But before we do this, I do wanna share with you guys how we're gonna be changing the settings when we go down here and we have a score and then a cut. So I'm gonna click heavy cardstock again, and I wanted you guys to make note of here it says load the double scoring wheel. We're gonna be using our scoring stylus today and not our scoring wheel. So how you're gonna change that is up here, click edit tools. And now you can change this to a scoring stylus and hit apply. So we'll go ahead and cut this out, and I'm gonna click remember material settings so that it remembers to cut all of my materials on the same setting. So now we don't have to go back into Design Space. All we have to do has cut out all of our little elements here. One thing you might want to do is reference these mats to know which color you need next. So it's a good time to have this handy. So now we're going to go ahead and place our colors of cardstock on our mats and get these all cut out. Since we'll be doing our base first, I'll go ahead and get our little cream color of cardstock, place this down. And you can smooth this out with your hands. You want to be gentle because, again, this is a little bit stickier of a mat, so you don't want to give too much pressure on that so that it rips your paper when you bring it up from the mat. So we're just going to load this into our machine like this and cut it out. And it's just measuring that mat length for us, and I'm going to go ahead and insert our scoring stylus into clamp A. So I'll share with you how to do that. You're just going to open that clamp, pop this in, close it, and you're good to go. And now we can just press that unload button and remove the excess paper from the mat. Now, our trick for all paper projects is to flip our mat completely over so this face down, and we're gonna be removing our mat from our material and not a material from our mat. Now, what this is gonna do, you'll see here, is keep our paper from curling at all. This is a beautiful piece of flat paper, and if you were to peel the material straight up from your mat, it would have curled. So this is a great hack that we love here. So now we have this one done. Now we're gonna go ahead and do our card insert. So I'm gonna set that to the side, grab our little card insert piece, and there's a couple little pieces on the mat. Place this down, load this in, and cut it just like I cut the other one. And now this one is cut. We're gonna do the exact same thing, folding it down. Now we have that piece, and this is our little card insert. So how we're gonna do this is this has our score line on it, which is perfect. So what we're gonna do is fold this right on that score line. Make sure it's gonna fold all nice and even for us. Look how beautiful. And now this insert will go right here. This is what we'll be able to write on. How cute is that? So now we'll go ahead and cut out our other pieces. We have, next up is gonna be our cone, which I think I'm gonna use this beautiful glitter for our cone here. So I'm gonna place this on the mat, place it down, and allow it to cut just like our other layers. Now this one's done. I'm just gonna flip it over and remove our material from our mat. Just like that. And we have our cute little glittery cone base. Now we're gonna move right along. Just going down the line. We're referencing Design Space to see which ones we're gonna be cutting next so we know which color to load on our mats. Now, while that mat is cutting, I think it's a great time to go ahead and mention if you are a beginner with making cards, it is not a great idea to assemble as you cut, because in my mind, you could go ahead and place this insert right here, then you could place the bottom of this cone right here, but the reason why you don't want to go ahead and use your adhesive and adhere these pieces down is because it's kind of harder to visualize where they're all going to go. So you might have made a mistake, you might have made an error when placing this, you might have placed it in the wrong spot. If you wait until everything is cut, you can place everything down, really visualize where it's going to go, and then use your adhesive. So I definitely recommend doing that if you're a beginner card maker and you might not be that confident in card making yet. It's a really good way to ensure a quality and successful craft if you wait and assemble it all later. Remember guys, we're not running a race here, especially when you're first starting out. Take things slow, really pay attention. The more craft fails you have right when you're a beginner, the more discouraged you'll feel, and we don't want you to do that. We want to make sure we set you guys up for success. So make sure that you take your time when making your cards and you just do your best and you don't rush through them. Now this is finished just like before. We're going to remove our excess here and remove this from the mat, and I'll be very gentle with that piece. You can see it's very delicate. And now we'll go ahead and remove these pieces from our mat. Toss these in the garbage. We'll set this aside and we will grab our other colors here. Now next we're going to go with our orangey peach color, and you can see I've just turned this mat the other direction because it seems a bit stickier on this side than this side. So I'm just going to place this down. The one thing we can assemble right now is our little element here on our cone. This would be a great thing to do right now. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to take my ZIG Glue Pen and my reverse tweezers, and I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers, and I'm going to flip my little element here around, and I'm going to take this ZIG Glue Pen and I'm going to add glue in all these little bitty areas. This is what's going to help us stick these two together. So I'm just going to go through here and add some glue. Now once you've added enough glue, you can just place this down right here. Those tweezers really help with that. Get it right where you want it and add some pressure. Now our other mat is done cutting. So we can unload this, place this to the side, and now we can place our other color on here, and then we only have one more color, and then we're ready to assemble. Time to unload our other flavor of ice cream and cut out our very last mat. Now it's our last mat. We're done with the cutting, guys. Wasn't that super easy? I'm telling you, if you just take your time, you go slow, it really will come together nicely for you. Now, another tip that I have is to go back into Design Space and take a look at your cut file so that you can look at and know which layers go where. So over here, taking a peek back in Design Space, we can see it goes green, orange, pink on our cone. That's something that we definitely want to take note of. Feel free to look at this as many times as you need to reference it, and this will help you. So now we'll go ahead and assemble our ice cream cone. First, we're going to grab our ice cream. We have our folded card here. We're going to place this one down. Then our orange, like this. And then our pink. And flip that pink over if something's not fitting quite right. And look how cute this is. Again, guys, take your time whenever you're placing these together. Just take your time. Don't get overwhelmed. And now you can take your cone and make sure your little cone will fit well here. And he fits super, super well right there. So this is how this front is going to look on our ice cream cone, just like this. So what we're going to do is start in the middle. I actually want to start in the middle. You can start at the top, at the bottom, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and start in the middle, and what I'm going to do is grab my reverse tweezers and very gently pick up this middle piece here, and I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to add some ATG on it, just like that. Now we're going to place it right back down. Just like that. Now we're going to go up and place our top ice cream cone here. So again, we're going to take our tweezers, pick it up, add some ATG. And again, this ATG gun is super easy to use, super user friendly. It's really simple once you get the hang of it. Now we're going to take it back and allow our reverse tweezers to help us place this. Now we're going to remove our cone down there and place this piece. Super easy. Place this down. And this adhesive is really, really forgiving. So if you happen to place it in a spot you don't like it or you want to place it somewhere else, you can very easily peel this up and place it back down. So now we can take our cone here and place our cone right where we want it to be. Just like that. And there is our little card. Look how cute. Now the last thing to do is to place the liner. So you want to place it down, make sure it looks good. Flip it over. Add some ATG to your liner. Line it up. Take your time when lining this up. And place it down. Now, you can close your card and look how stinking cute. You can write on this whatever you want to do, and it's ready for your sentiment. It's absolutely adorable. What did you all think of this adorable little card? I can't wait for you all to make it. This was a wonderful beginner card for anyone who is new to their Cricut. The steps are super easy. Feel free to interchange anything color-wise or technique-wise that you feel like you like better. It's all about what you want and personal preference when you're starting out using your machine. It's about seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and doing what's best for you as a crafter. So we hope that I instilled a little bit of confidence in you guys when making this yourself. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe down below, and click that notification bell to get notifications whenever we're live or when we post content much like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.